Hey y'all, is Royal Caribbean's The Key actually worth it? Well, I purchased it for my sailing on Quantum of the Seas, and today I'm going to break down what's included, what I actually used, and will I purchase it again. Here's everything that's included. Priority access at the terminal on embarkation day, carry-on bag drop-off, an exclusive welcome lunch in the main dining room, 20% off specialty dining when you book on board on day one, 50% off select onboard sports activities, $60 off a qualifying spa service, Voom internet for one device, fast lane access for select onboard activities, priority departure at tender ports, reserved seating at the select shows, and exclusive breakfast and choice departure on the last day. So now we're going to get into everything that I used and my thoughts about them. So starting with the priority access at the terminal on embarkation day, honestly, that was a 10 out of 10. Everything was so smooth. We went through security, checked in. We did sit in a little holding room for about maybe 10 minutes, if that. And then we were on the ship in no time. Literally 10 out of 10 on that perk alone. So with the carry-on bag drop-off, this is when things got a little bit tricky, only because it doesn't specify the size of a carry-on bag. Luckily for us, this was a 4-night trip, so we did not have huge luggage, but I did see a lot of people board with their normal size carry-on rolling suitcase and a backpack or a duffel bag. We actually, I don't even know why we did this, but we checked in our suitcases and then we walked on with our carry-on, our little beige weekender bags, but we could have went on with our beige carry-on bags. So just to specify what type of carry-on bags. Now, the only thing that was a bit tricky, when you receive the email tells you that you bring your bags to the dining room. Actually, that's not true, and I think they should, maybe depends on the ship. I think they should specify that, just because a lot of people were bringing their bags all the way downstairs to the dining room, and the dining room people were like, you don't leave your bags here. Actually, when you walked in, the level that you walked in on, I forget what deck it was. Let's just say it was deck 4, just making stuff up. When you walked on deck 4, if you go straight ahead, it was kind of near and I'm talking about on Quantum of the Seas, by the way. It was near the shore excursion area, and that's where the bag drop-off was. So again, if you are somebody who's used to walking on a cruise ship, going straight to your muster drill, you're not even paying attention to the sign. And it was one little sign all the way far in the back. And it was how it is when you first get on a ship. It's chaotic. People just standing everywhere. Everyone's kind of confused trying to get their whereabouts. So I definitely think that they should make that way more clear. Next up, we have the exclusive welcome lunch in the main dining room. 10 out of 10. The menu is actually from the Chop Grill, is it called? The Chop restaurant, the steakhouse restaurant. That the menu, they have excerpts from that menu in the main dining room for this exclusive lunch. And when I tell y'all, that is something that I never want to miss again. That lunch was so good. I just love the fact that, and don't get me wrong, I love a good windjammer moment, but I just love the fact that we didn't have to worry about trying to find a seat and just not being able to look around, because everybody is just everywhere and there's kids everywhere. And then you guys know, if you've ever sailed on Royal Caribbean, you know how the windjammer can get at times, especially when everybody's in the windjammer at one time. I just love this fact that we had our own little private area. They walked you to your table and you were just able to just sit, eat, and relax. So the next thing that we used was the Voom internet for one device, and that alone to me is worth the money that you pay, just because the Wi-Fi package can be so expensive, especially when you have more than one person in a room, and especially if it's a longer sailing. Luckily for us, it was 4 nights, but still, I just feel like including that in this package made it worth it, especially someone like me who does social media for a living. it was definitely perfect. Now, at times, the connection was a little, but I just feel like that's just the gamble you take on cruises. Like, you don't expect for the Wi-Fi to be up and running thoroughly throughout the whole cruise. And it was never a point where like whole day went by and I didn't have Wi-Fi. No, it was just like at moments you had to go back to the app and reconnect your Wi-Fi to your phone or to whatever device. But it was nothing to trip over. But I do think that perk was a very good perk to have included in this package. Okay, the next thing we used was the priority departure at the tender ports. This alone makes it worth it. Now, I know I said that about the Wi-Fi, but this for sure. If you've ever been on a cruise and you have tender ports, you know how chaotic it can get trying to get everybody off that ship. And of course, when you have excursions, everybody's trying to be on 9 times out of 10, one of the first few tenders that goes out. The key has a whole designated situation for you to where basically it's like a VIP line at the club, okay? You go to your meeting point and they put you right on a tender, which I absolutely love that because it was chaotic on the tender port day. And the last thing that we actually did use was the exclusive breakfast and choice departure on the last day. The Quantum of the Seas leaves out of LA, so we were in no rush to get off the ship because we didn't have a flight to catch or anything like that. My car was parked right at the port. But that breakfast, if y'all get the key, please get the crab Benedict. That was so good. Like, you love crab cakes. The crab Benedict is gonna be like chef's kiss, your go-to. Like, I want that every single day. And I'm not even a breakfast eater, but that was literally so good, so perfect. Honestly enjoyed the breakfast. Again, it was in the main dining room. You didn't have to worry about going to the Windjammer. You wasn't in the way of the chaos, which I absolutely love because sometimes that can just get overstimulating at times. When it comes to the choice departure, we did check our bags, so we had to pick up our bags at the end. Do feel like it should have been communicated where our bags were actually going to be, because at the Port of Los Angeles, it's kind of warehouse type of vibe where they put your bags at. And I feel like when you do that and you get your tags, it tells you where to pick up your bag, before, so you know where your bag is going to be. They didn't tell us, so we had no idea. And then we're asking people and people are kind of like, I don't really know. But again, the security works for the port. They don't work for Royal Caribbean. At least I don't think so. So it's nothing to get mad at, but I do feel like they could have had more signs, or they did send us a letter to let us know about the whole departure. I do think that on the letter, it could have said, pick up your bag at station number 1, just because that would have lessened the load for, of the cruise. So a lot of the other benefits that it comes with just didn't pertain to our sailing just because of the ship that we were on. I feel like if we were on a Icon class ship or one of the other newer ships than Quantum, we probably would have been able to utilize the benefits such as priorities at the shows and things like that. So that's a main reason why we did not use a lot of the other benefits. I do believe that they did still have it for the rock climbing wall, and I do believe they also had it for the bumping cars. But when we went to bumping cars, there was literally no one there, so it just didn't make sense to use that perk. I feel like if you are on an Icon class ship, all of the worth it for you. Okay, let's into the price. So again, we were on a 4-night sailing leaving out of LA on Quantum of the Seas, and for 2 people, our total was $255.92. Okay, so it's time for the big question. Will I purchase this again? And my answer is absolutely yes. I just feel like with everything that we did use throughout the package, it was worth it for us. Again, $255 or however much it would be for your particular sailing, that's not for everyone, and I totally understand that. Like, if you are somebody who is traveling on a budget, or this was just last minute and you just want to get away, then of course I wouldn't say, oh, this is a necessity, because it's definitely not. But for the people who are willing to pay that nice little extra luxury little, what's the word, little razzle dazzle for your trip, again, if we were on an Icon sailing, or sailing during a holiday, oh, I already know 10 out of 10, like, this would be chef's kiss. But overall, I do think that the key is actually worth it, and I definitely will be purchasing this again, especially for the crab benedict, child. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you are sailing Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas anytime soon, check my page out, because I have a ocean view balcony room tour up on my page, so you can see the layout of the room, the space, all of that. And I have my vlog coming out very soon of my trip. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Check my tech.